Alright guys, as promised, as I've been delaying you guys this whole entire time, this whole entire year, I'm going to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show, the cartoon. And all I can just basically say is, what can I do? What can I do that anybody else has not already done? Most people have done tons of parts of their shows on their channels to talk about the show. I even went out of my way to add the arrow, well, my not so perfect, tattoo of Aang as the avatar. So what can I do that no one else hasn't done? Well, what can I do? What have I done that no one else has already said about Avatar: The Last Airbender? Well, I guess I could talk about the more important thing. What I thought of the show at the first time I saw its trailer, or promo, basically. So, basically, I guess that's something I can talk about today. This show I thought was overrated. When I saw the first image of the show itself on its premium trailer, I thought this was going to be the most overrated thing of all time. And most of those YouTubers thought, oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's going to be so overrated. It's going to be so overrated. Nickelodeon's trying too hard to make new kids shows these days. So, I started watching a little bit of it. But since the time I'm filming this, it's Mother's Day, I might as well explain the real person who got me into this show. And that is, you guessed right, my mother. Loretta Holiday has got me into the show. I'm hooked on the show. I can't get enough of the show. The show is so great. The animation is so great. Everything about this animated kids show that was directed for little kids is also very adult. Not adult as in like nudity, language, and violence, but it's more for everybody. Like when they say rated G, rated for everyone, I'm talking about those rated G movies that Disney used to do back in the day. Before they now have to make them PG during the time. But all I wanted to say is, I thought this show was the most overrated thing. We got shows like Shaolin Showdown, which made me say to myself, oh, you referenced that from anime. Okay, perfect. So when this show did the same thing, referencing from anime, I said to myself, oh god, here comes another one. So during the time my mom was praising the show like crazy, I said to myself, Mom, it's just a kid show on Nickelodeon. Relax, it's not all that great. So, as much as my mom really, was watching the show a lot, I was watching on the sideline saying, maybe the show might be interesting. So, during 2005, 2005, I was really watching a lot of, well, I'm surprised that my mom actually does watch certain anime, not adult anime where they show a lot of blood and violence and nudity. Which, oh, wait, that's an anime, so that makes sense. So, let me just express my opinion. When I saw Aang, I said to myself, "Oh, here's our kid character. Here's our kid character who has their story, and pretty much all I can say is, well, good for you, kid." But then I started watching the show a lot closely on the final episode of Book 1, the South Pole episode. Wait, North Pole episode. Well, which pole, wherever it is. I decided to watch it, and okay, I said to myself, this is interesting. After watching that, I started watching the show certain parts. Not every part, but certain parts of the show. When I was watching the final episode of Book 1, I said to myself, okay, this is a good show. Okay, this is really good. It's really good. Okay, alright, I'll give this show a shot. So I watched the first episode, and then since then, I said to myself, okay, Mom, you're right. This is a good show. This is a very animatedly good show. This is definitely not an anime, as our favorite Earthbender Talk would say.
It's the real deal.
So either way, I thought Aang was going to be that typical little knuckleheaded kid who's supposed to be like, oh, here's our wide-eye hero. Here's our wide-eye, hero who's goofy and also the main character. Little did I know, Aang started to grow on me. This might be my unpopular opinion. The episode I did start thinking, well, it does have a good point. Unfortunately, that is the Great Divine episode. Yes, I know, Avatar fans, that's the worst Avatar episode of all time. But to be fair, I think it's not underrated and not as bad as I think. Oh. Huh. Something happened? Anyways. The Great Divine episode, the reason why I got into that the most, because, well, I'm not going to talk about that episode. I'll mention it in a different video. So, then I started watching other characters. Sokka and Katara, Zuko. And now watching Book 1, I now say to myself, okay, these aren't going to be the typical characters we've known a lot in other shows or inspired anime shows or whatever. So, the moment I saw Sokka and Katara, they've now proven to me to be the Han Solo and Princess Leia of the group. Except they're brother and sister. And Han Solo and Princess Leia are a couple, so let's not get that confused. But either way, you know what I mean. We have Aang, who's pretty much the Luke Skywalker of the show. He's that wide-eyed innocence that you love a lot, and you don't think that he would ever do anything bad until Legend of Korra. But now, thinking about it, when I see Zuko, I'm saying to myself, oh, is this going to be the villain who's going to be the straight-up bad villain, but it's going to be like Vegeta and the Green Ranger and Shadow all in the mix in this case? And now to add in that other list is Nebula from the Guardians of the Galaxy of the franchise. Yeah, okay, fine. Zuko is good. Yeah. That's the whole secret thing about Zuko, is technically he's secretly good. But I do like the backstory of why Aang and Zuko have something a little bit in common, but not too much in common. So the episode, The Storm, explains why Zuko was banished and why Aang ran away. Zuko was... Now, let me start with Aang first, because I want to start with the simple stuff first, then go for the difficult stuff later. The simple stuff I want to start with is Aang. Moment when Aang found out he was going to be the Avatar, he was saying, well, I'm the Avatar, so now what? Well, now you gotta save the world from the Fire Nation and stop the up-and-coming war that could be coming. So, moment when Aang became Avatar, found out he was the Avatar, he now says, now everything that he once loved is now turned against him. Not literally, but he's now saying he can't play with the other kids. And he has to not be so playful and tries to be, trained to be the Avatar. Meaning he has to learn all three elements. Water, earth, and fire. So, the moment when Aang found out that the monk that raised him, Yatsu, was going to be taken away from him, or have Yatsu be not underneath his, management, he's going to be basically, brought to other. But unfortunately, he heard all that, and then he winds up leaving. So this leads to Aang just running away. And now we go into Prince Zuko. Oh God. Zuko's story is, well, a lot harder than Aang's. Zuko was actually not even a bad kid. Matter of fact, he wasn't even quite that bad. He was actually a kid who just wanted to impress his father, but only got his mother's love. But little that he knew, their mom was gone. Then later finds out that at one time, he spoke out in a important meeting with generals and commanders and stuff. He spoke out, and he was challenged to an Agni Kai episode. Not Agni Ki! Agni Kai! Kai! Kai. Kai! And moment he got prepared for that episode, prepared for that Agni Kai event, he turned around and he found out, oh my God! Dad? No, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. Why? And it's like, so the person that he disrespected, the person that he called out, was his father, the Fire Lord. And of course, as everybody has said, he would not fight his father. Why? Because, I don't know. Are you going to send a mosquito to fight a volcano? Of course not. So Zuko was burned, disowned, humiliated, and now that's the best thing about Zuko. He's not I guess in some terms, people are going to assume that he was a person that they trained that gone rogue. But no, that's actually true. He's a person that was a good person, but sadly was humiliated, which is why he's so angsty and mad, basically. Yeah. But either way, Zuko was not going to be your typical, I'm the bad guy, there's nothing good about me. But then later, once you watch more of the episodes of Zuko and the rest of the characters, and let me go into Sokka. Homeboy Sokka, who's actually voiced by someone who actually is from Boston. Sokka is, well, he's the alpha male. The true alpha male. And also, he's not a bender. He's the ponytail guy. He's the boomerang guy. And book 3, he's the sword guy now. But now, if you now see the point, Sokka, I'm always thinking, oh, here's our guy, here's our meathead guy. But then I realize, oh, he actually wants to learn how to be a better person. And to be fair, Sokka, yeah, he does get, you do kind of grow along with him, how he becomes a little less sexist and tries to be more accepting. Like with the episode with Suki, I do love that one part where Suki says, I am a warrior, but I'm also a girl. And the fact that he's like, oh, I gotta accept that part. So either way, Sokka winds up being more likable. Katara winds up being less of a damsel in distress and more of an independent, girl. Because you know how you watch certain animes, how some girls always seem to get rescued or tend to get rescued themselves, or that's how I can basically say it. Katara becomes a little less of a damsel and becomes more, like you ladies would like to say, an independent woman. And now let's go into the other characters. And I'm going to be a little bit brief. Toph is hands down the best character of the Avatar characters of them all. That's the one thing, you gotta get right. You gotta have Toph be a badass. Azula, I'm gonna say it. How can I say this? Well, it's the obvious. She's a bitch. She is a bitch. That's all I can basically say. And of course, my favorite Azula moment is with Longfang. And all I can just tell you is, Longfang's a dick. This guy is a dick. A complete goddamn dick. He's a complete dick, and that's it. In the episode where Azula beats him at his own game, I do love that one line that she says back to him. Oh no, don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player. And of course the other characters I could go into, but I don't have enough time. But all I want to say is this show is actually great. Out of 5 stars, I give it a 6. Out of 10 stars, I give it a 9.9. Yeah. But yes, I do have my mom to thank for it, and sadly, she's out of town right now. I would have gotten her anyways, but I would say this is dedicated to her. I'm releasing this on the 13th of this week. So, yes, remember to celebrate Mother's Day. And, if your mom is a big Avatar fan, be happy of that. So that being said, that ends today's video. And of course, my promise to review all 4 Mad Max movies, still coming to you. So with that being said, Vertical Spy, outro. Let's see, this thing hasn't dried up a bit. Oh yeah, that's a direct Vertical Spy outro. And I'm such an asshole. I almost forgot about the most important character. Uncle Iroh. I mean, how can I forget about him? Best uncle of all time. And yeah, I did think they were kind of going for a Mr. Miyagi type of, type of character. And yes, voiced by Mako or Mako or however you say his name. But also having a Hispanic actor who scarcely sounds exactly like Mako. You gotta get somebody for the job.
Yo, Steve Bloom here, voice of Spike Spiegel. Remember to subscribe and get vertical.